A young Chasman grabbed a random game purely based on its cover during a Blockbuster visit. This was at a time when horror games weren't exactly on my radar, a game called Bioshock. But this would be my first foray into that genre and create an entry point and love of horror games. 2K Games having announced in 2019 that their new studio, the aptly named Cloud Chamber Studios, having been working on the next iteration of Bioshock, and being 7 years removed from Bioshock Infinite, I think 6 or 7 years of Bioshock 4 development is long enough to start the hype train. Let's review. A sudden and mysterious plane crash in the Atlantic Ocean is where Bioshock begins. Jack, our faceless protagonist, survives and resurfaces amongst the wreckage to see but a lonely lighthouse. You take refuge and are greeted by a giant statue with an alluring message. After entering the bathysphere and descending, you're introduced to my favorite character in the game and his Shangri-La.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. A city where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, rapture can become your city as well.
You're then made familiar with Atlas and his venture to reunite with his family, and shown that your time in Rapture will be no summer vacation.
Just don't hurt me. Just let me go. You keep my gun.
Is it someone new?
The most interesting aspect of Bioshock is most definitely the politics and creation of Rapture. Andrew Ryan, a successful businessman, entrepreneur, and head of Ryan Industries in the 1940s, wanted to break free of society and government's oversight and morality constraints.
I'm gonna run away! That's what I'll do! Run away!
After building the underwater city, Rapture scientists would discover Atom, genetic material made from sea slugs on the ocean's floor. This material would be used to create plasmids, enabling extraordinary abilities such as telekinesis, pyrokinesis, and B.
Not the bears! Oh, my eyes! Eyes!
Remember, be yourself.
Frank Fontaine, a gangster and businessman in his own right, wanted to take Rapture as his own, and solicited the help of Dr. Tenenbaum and Dr. Sue Chong, both leading researchers in Atom. Fontaine, using the power of plasmids, wanted to create a mutated army to win Rapture. They planted the sea slugs into the stomachs of orphaned little girls. This helped with mass production and created the Little Sisters. Fontaine would be killed in a raid, paving the way for the character Atlas to take his mantle and gather up the lower-class citizens and other opposers to Andrew Ryan's rule, leading Rapture down a perpetual loop of citizens raving as lunatics, gone mad due to mass plasmid consumption, constantly seeking out little sisters in need of more Atom. Underneath the outside beauty Rapture portrays, there's a constant uneasy foreboding that follows whenever you enter a new setting in Bioshock. Whether entering casinos, exotic dance venues, dental offices, theaters, gardens, or even bathrooms, that dreadful sense of, oh crap, what am I walking into next, is persistent. I love that Bioshock uses these normal everyday areas and shows the disruption Fontaine, Atlas, and Ryan's war has brought upon Rapture. Throughout Bioshock, dispersed amongst areas, if you look thoroughly enough, you can find audio diaries. These diaries, recorded by many inhabitants of Rapture, paint a clearer picture of their lives and the circumstances of their misfortune. This form of non-direct storytelling I've always found refreshing, and gives the player more incentive to experience their surroundings and uncover more truths about Rapture's decline. Progressing through Bioshock levels at times can be a bit linear. Go to point A, kill foe or retrieve an object, proceed to point B, and receive a cutscene. However, the conflicts and how you prepare for encounters is where Bioshock shines brightest. Within your arsenal is a diverse selection of harmful instruments which leave death and destruction in your wake. The wrench, your first weapon received in the game. The pistol, which can rotate between pistol rounds, anti-personnel ammo, and armor-piercing rounds. The machine gun, which can rotate between machine gun ammo, anti-personnel ammo, and armor-piercing rounds. The shotgun, which can rotate between buckshots, exploding bucks, and electric bucks. The grenade launcher, which can rotate between frag grenades, proximity rounds, and heat-seeking RPGs. The chemical thrower, which can rotate between napalm, electric gel, and liquid nitrogen. The crossbow, which can rotate between steel-tipped arrows, incendiary bolts, and tripwire bolts. Lastly, if you're feeling really loony and have a death wish, you can use the camera.
Yes!
The camera, while doing no physical damage, earns you experience points which, when reaching a new tier, awards greater damage to the enemy types you're snapping. Additionally, in fights, your plasmids are great when reloading, or if you're just wanting to throw another obstacle in your opponent's way and halt their progress. Some plasmids can even interact with environmental objects. For instance, using telekinesis to catch and throw proximity mines back at Big Daddies, or using Incinerate to melt objects frozen in ice. Most plasmids can be upgraded twice, allowing for greater effect. There are also 53 gene tonics in the game to be had either by discovery or by purchase from a gatherer's garden. When equipped, these tonics can benefit aspects of combat, hacking, looting, healing, vending machine prices, and more. When not fighting for your life, there's vending machines spread out all over Rapture, undoubtedly used by the former well-mannered citizens. Some machines act as a supplier of ammo, new tonics, health, plasmids, or upgrades for your weapons. If you don't feel like breaking the bank on vending machines, or would like your own personal drone partner, why not hack it? Hacking vending machines leaves the device at a permanently discounted rate, keeping your Rapture wallet full. You can also hack turrets, security cameras, and safes. The hacking minigame I've always found to be a nice breakaway from the combat. It's a nice change of pace to the game's normal gameplay flow. I would recommend equipping some hacking tonics. Those mid to late game hacks can be cheeky bastards. Dr. Suchong originally developed the Big Daddies to maintain Rapture's infrastructure. Some riveted panels and windows, the Rosie model. Some drilled deep sea rocks, the Bouncer model. Former Rapture citizens genetically altered and physically grafted to be sealed inside a special diving suit, wandering the watery depths as mindless husks performing tasks. As the demand for Adam rose, Dr. Suchong decided to use the Big Daddies to protect the little sisters as they harvested Adam from corpses, as opposed to the sisters creating it themselves as how it had been done before. The scientists sprayed the Big Daddies with a special pheromone, which attracted and eased the little sisters, creating a special symbiotic relationship. Not long after your Rapture arrival, you stumble upon Dr. Tenenbaum protecting one of the little sisters from a splicer. Knowing the value of Adam and the danger it brings, she begs you to spare the little sister and not harvest her, saying if you show kindness in the end, she will reward your generosity.
Use this. Free them from their torment. I will make it to be worth your while. Somehow.
Choosing to harvest or save the little sisters has big implications in Bioshock. Essentially, if you harvest them, you're rewarded with more Adam up front, and if you save them, at later points in the game, the sisters will leave you rewards at Gatherer's Gardens. Most importantly though, your decisions affect the ending, which Bioshock has 3. Saving all the little sisters, harvesting all the little sisters, and neutral, if you did some of both. Most games that I play that have these morality-based game mechanics, I generally go with Paragon, so I almost always go with saving the little sisters when playing. Getting to the little sisters means you have to go through Big Daddies first though. Stock up on health, Eve, and ammo, and make sure not to get hit with the Rosie's long-range shots, or let the bouncers charge in on you. No preparation could probably lead to a watery grave, and revival from a Vita chamber. In totality, Bioshock is very accessible, especially on the easy and normal difficulties. It eases you into combat and slowly builds upon it, eventually leading you into fighting numerous enemies while balancing your weapons and plasmids. I normally try and have a Bioshock playthrough once a year. There aren't many games that I do that for. Mass Effect, Arkham Asylum, Gears of War, Dead Space, Halo, all games I always end up gravitating back to. Now I know I've been singing Bioshock's praises this whole time, but Bioshock most definitely is not a perfect game. It is, however, about as good as it gets to me. With all that said, I cannot wait until my next visit to Rapture and look forward to those lighthouse steps and descending back into Andrew Ryan's utopia. Hey guys, Chasman here. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this little passion project of mine. I really had a lot of fun creating it. I want to try and do 2 reviews a month. Some might be smaller, some might be larger than this review. Also, I want to do a weekly news video talking about any video game, TV, or movie news out there. And lastly, I'd like to do a monthly pickup video for my video game collecting ventures. And with that, I'd just like to say, if you guys are watching from YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'd love to hear in the comments about your thoughts on my reviews or any games in the future you'd like to see me review. My theme song is done by my buddy's band Saurus, S-O-R-U-S. You can find them at Bandcamp and Spotify.com. And if you guys want to directly support me, or you want to know when anything new I might be working on comes out, or if you just want additional content, feel free to go to my Patreon on patreon.com. That will be enter_Chasman. Thank you so much. Love you, and be safe. See ya another time.